Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the beloved Copper Empire. We're back. Did you miss me? It's been like only a couple hours, I know. Well, I got some good news and I guess it's kind of bad news at the same exact time. Today we're talking about how, boy, did I get excited when I first read this. Darth Maul and his brother Savage Opress are getting some really cool boosts in Galaxy Heroes, but the bad news is it's because of Datacrons. We have Datacron set 9. I believe we're coming up to our almost 1-year anniversary of Datacrons being in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. I think it came out, what was it, June last year? I gotta ask you guys a quick question before we get going here. This is kind of tied into Datacrons. You guys know how I feel about Datacrons, right? Especially in recent months, I've kind of learned to just enjoy the game, still remain mostly competitive, without really going too much into weeds of Datacrons. And you may have noticed I kind of slacked off on my Datacron guide. Usually at the minimum, I would highlight the best Datacrons for every season and the factions, and I would even go through every single faction. Do you guys use this? I stopped doing it the past 2 seasons because I just feel like not a lot of people are using Datacrons, and I don't know if this is very helpful for folks. If it is, let me know. I'd be more than happy to pick this up again. Oh boy, look, there's one person coming. It's like, where's the update? If you're that one person, let me know down below. Let's talk about these Datacrons here. Main highlights: Nightsisters getting a big boost. Actually, fun fact, I don't know why I keep bouncing us around everywhere. Fun fact, I'm going to try to take my Nightsisters to the next level. With the recent announcement of my guild taking a break from territories, or not asking for any territory Omicrons or territory battle Omicrons, I decided to go all in on my Nightsisters. I threw on the Omicron and Asajj and even boosted up my Nightsister Initiate, hoping that we could start one-shotting some Jabba teams like we talked about a while ago. Kind of excited about that. So we have a Nightsister Datacron set, which is going to be very nasty. If Marin Sith are getting a ton of love. In case you missed it, there's a card at the top right-hand corner. We have all the requirements listed for the Leviathan and our new Sith Empire ships. Holy cow, Sith are just becoming bonkers lately and so important. I'm loving it. I do have some gripes I'm going to put out there. And on top of that, we're also getting some old Republic boosts, which kind of gives me like a little bit of a, throwback to like Karth days, the Bastila Shan lead days. This could also maybe affect Jedi Knight Revan potentially. So a lot of interesting stuff that I want to break down with you guys. But the main thing I want to point out, actually, I want to start off on a positive thing. I know I'm not crazy about Datacrons. I think recently I've been kind of more chill with the Datacrons is because they haven't been doing Datacrons with Galactic Legend level 9 bonuses. And I think that's great. Level 9 bonuses on Galactic Legends are completely absurd. And as you see, these are all just normal characters. I don't even see any like legendary characters. You have Sith Trooper, Sith Empire Trooper, Darth Talon, Sith Assassin, Darth Mauls. We're going to talk about Savage Opress. Holy cow, the solos are going to get even more nutty of Savage. Bastila Shan, Candace Ordo, Zalbar, Karth, Anasi, Mission Vow, Marin, Asajj, Ventures, Knights of Zombie, Mother Talzin, as well as Old Doc. I think it's fantastic that if these Datacrons are going to stick around, that there's no crazy Galactic Legend bonuses. However, boy, I can only imagine how long some of these matches are going to take. The stat bonuses have a lot of defense increases, max health increases, max protection increase, and some of these stats, these bonuses from the Datacrons are going to amplify health and protection even more. And with health steal in the mix, I can only imagine how long some of these battles are going to be. But on the flip side, I can imagine Darth Malgus and Master Luke doing some incredible amount of damage. So hopefully your matches won't get too long. Luckily, like I've noticed in Erodium, like where my free-to-play accounts, I don't really see a lot of Datacrons. And again, it really is a Kyber, maybe like 1, 2, maybe 3 type of issue. Anyways, let's go break down what we got here. So we have a mixed light and dark side. Sometimes we're only having light, sometimes only dark. We have light and dark going on. There's a couple things that stand out here. I think the main one is kind of what they highlighted here. At the start of the encounter, allies gain 15% max health and max protection for each other Sith, just for each other ally. So this is going to be, you know, there's always that go-to. So if you're not engaging Datacrons, maybe at least get 1 or 2 level 3s. This is going to be the one you're going to want to get as many for your dark side teams, and it's also applying to the light side teams. So let's just bring out 2 examples. I brought out Darth Malgus. Darth Malgus does an insane amount of damage based off his health stats. So if you're going to amplify his health even more, well, that's kind of going to be a big deal. I can imagine like 1,000,000+ damage on his big special ability. It's basically almost an insta kill at that point. So that's going to be nutty. Master Luke does damage on his special ability that he uses for everyone else based off his max protection. So Master Luke is going to be hitting pretty darn nuts as well as the rest of his team. And then I want to put another thing out there. Not a very applicable issue for many of you guys. Reva is going to be nutty with this as well. Like an almost unkillable Reva, but luckily we generally leave that for Darth Nihilus when it worked. So that's going to be the biggest kicker. We have some other things. For example, when you stun or daze the enemy, they recover 10% health and protection. You know, I'm sure it's got a juice, but it's not really the coolest one in the mix here. Whenever allies are evaded by an enemy, that ally gains accuracy for 2 turns. Pretty blah. I'm not even going to read the rest of that. And then also the next one we have here, whenever allies evade an attack, they gain offset for 1 turn. So these other ones aren't really that special. The thing that's very obvious right away, even before I consider maybe bringing this up again on this Datacron spreadsheet, this is going to be the biggest one. Try to get as many of these health protection increases for the dark side and the light side. Moving on, let's talk about the Sith and how Darth Maul's going to be. We already kind of emphasized a little bit of Darth Malgus. So one of the first bonuses you have, anytime a Sith ally is reduced to below 50% health, you inflict doubt on all enemies for 1 turn. Something that's traditionally a Darth Malgus thing. Now all the Sith can get it. Just the amount of teams that this is going to benefit, you know, just the Darth Malgus team alone, that's another layer of doubt that's going to cause so many complications for you to work through. So this is going to make a lot of Sith teams very usable that otherwise are not all that usable. Whenever another ally grants buff to another ally, that ally gains 10% Terminator. So we have a lot of Terminator gains. A lot of teams have buffs. Even Darth Malgus teams have a lot of buffs. Darth Maul teams have a ton of buffs. So, and Emperor Palpatine lineups have a lot of buffs. So this is something that's going to be nice as well. You definitely have a lot more variety going on here, whereas the level 3s aren't really all that special. Whenever allies start their turn with at least 2 debuffs, that can be dispelled. They have a 65% chance to dispel all debuffs themselves. So that's nice. I don't think that's as interesting as the other ones. Here we have a highlighted one. I don't know if they highlight these intentionally. It sounds good though. Whenever allies critically hit enemy during their turn, that ally gains 10% offense stacking for 2 turns. And when I'm thinking of like Darth Revan's AoE, for example, he usually critically hits everyone. Oh my gosh, the amount of damage the Sith are going to be spewing out is going to be nuts. So Sith that do like AoE damage specifically are really going to enjoy this. Constantly increasing their offense by 50% for 2 turns. The damage on these teams are going to go up, so hopefully that compensates for the increased health and protection, but that's only for these factions. You have Retribution, kind of a standard thing we've seen. We've seen smugglers get it. We've seen droids get it. Opening up a Retribution. Again, just imagine Darth Revan with Darth Malgus, the Sith Empire, starting with Retribution is just complete nuts. Whenever an enemy is defeated, anti-revive abilities, nice. I don't think it's the best one. And whenever an ally damages an enemy and there's no ability block, you can inflict ability block, which can't be resisted. So it's okay. Obviously, the biggest ones I think are the doubt application as well as the offense ramping, and Retribution I think is going to be nice as well. Old Republic. This is interesting. We have cooldown refreshes on them. I'm not sure how crazy I'm about it, but as we get to the level 9 bonuses, it probably will make it a little bit more interesting. Whenever allies grant another buff to another ally, that ally gains 10% Terminator. So we already saw that, and especially at Basilisk Shawn teams, a lot of buffs being spreading around out there. Whenever allies are revived, so Jolie Bindo, for example, they gain protection over time for 2 turns and 25% Terminator. Reduce their cooldowns by 1. So when Jolie pops that revive, that's gonna be kind of a big deal. Whenever allies start turn with at least debuffs, we have the self-cleanse thing, we have the stacking offense going on, we have Retribution, and we have the anti-revive. So for the Old Republic, the ones that are interesting are if you can get the cooldown refreshes, that'd be very nice to see. The Terminator gain, and this might be nice for Jolie Bindo as well for the Old Republic. Nightsisters, boy, I'm a big fan of Nightsisters right now, especially if Marin, not crazy about 3v3, maybe this will make him great at 3v3. Marin has been such a beaut in the lineup, just beating, I feel like I can beat pretty much any like non-legendary team for sure, and then some legendaries. I've been able to beat Dr. Raffer. I'm sure could beat some Star Killer stuff with the constant plague application. I'm able to easily pick apart Jabba, and hoping I can dial it in to one-shot Jabba. Huge fan of Nightsisters. Marin's been one of the best things for Cal Kestis requirements. Where's that guy? I don't even know where Jedi Knight Cal Kestis is, but we're focusing on this. We have this. This is probably the biggest one. Whenever Nightsister allies defeated or revived, inflict 2 stacks of plague on all enemies for 2 turns. There are times when they die and they revive in the same turn. Hello, Nightsister zombie. Constant revives of Old Daka. Marin's got the revives. Mother tells the lead. This is going to be absolutely nutty. The amount of plagues that Marin already throws there, it's just already insane amounts. This is going to make it even more nutty. We have the cooldown reductions. Anytime they revive, they get the 25% Terminator, recover 25% protection. Boost their cooldowns by 1 again. It's which one do you want? Do you want the Bugatti? Do you want the McLaren, Ferrari? It's like these are all, they look so nice to have. Whenever allies start their turn with at least 2 debuffs, we got the self-cleanse, we got the stacking offense, we got the retribution, we have the anti-revive, and we got the ability block. So realistically, the ones that are most interesting is probably that one with the Applying Plague, as well as the turn meter gains, protection recovery, and cooldown reduction. But I think the Plague is going to be the biggest thing. Once Mirren starts rolling, the team's on a countdown before they die off. Moving on here, we have our characters. So I want to emphasize Darth Maul Savage first. Here's the thing about Darth Maul. So if you watch the video, Darth Maul's gonna be required for the Leviathan. Say what you will about the requirements in terms of relics and ships. There's kind of, I think, more or less in range of what we were kind of expecting. And, you know, I've seen people hate the requirements. Some of them think it's actually pretty reasonable. The thing that stands out to me for the Leviathan requirements, almost everything, ship-wise, character-wise, is gonna be useful. The biggest sore spot is Darth Maul, and as much as I can appreciate the fact that we're getting a Darth Maul datacron, I really wish they would do something with the guy, whether it's an Omicron of some sort. There's got to be an Omicron that works. I feel like that's not too hard to believe. A Darth Maul Omicron, or I know they don't do reworks, that's why I'm throwing out Omicron, something that's a bit more permanent, so you feel like all the requirements are banger for the Sith Empire Leviathan. Nonetheless, the first time he's defeated, they are revived with 100% health, gain health over time for 2 turns, and take a bonus turn. And when you consider the fact that their Maul team is going to be a hella durable, or they might have tons of offense stacking, this Darth Maul, I suspect, is going to hit really, really hard, especially with his unique ability. He can ramp up pretty darn well. So I want to see a Darth Maul take some leftover Sith and make them usable. I guess it's a temporary solution, you know, but again, I'm going to be happy if we get a Darth Maul Omicron this year. I think that's going to go a long way. This is cool. I'm more interested in other stuff. Savage Opress. Whenever he deals damage to an enemy, remove 25% damage from that enemy. Savage Opress is a soloing monster. A lot of us know that. It's very key for my free-to-play account to solo through lots of teams, but a lot of people like to plug him up more in the end game on some defensive teams there, whether it's Darth Malgus, Darth Treya, even some random lineups that have no business dealing with Sith. He is there. This is going to be a big deal, controlling the enemy team, and while you're trying to do Savage solos, this is going to make your life a lot easier. Take a look at Sith Troop. Let's go to the top. So this is first order Sith Trooper. Whenever he critically hits an enemy, he gains stealth for 1 turn. Whenever he loses stealth, he gains 30% defense penetration and 50% offense for 1 turn. So this is going to be nice for the first order guys out there. Getting your Sith Trooper to hit a little bit harder is going to go a long way. Doesn't seem game breaking, but still nonetheless, it's going to be nice. And remember, he gets some of these Sith bonuses that are going on here. Next up, we got the Sith Empire Trooper. Happy to see that they finally added a new Old Republic ship with an Old Republic pilot for the Leviathan. That being Sith Empire Trooper. While Sith Empire Trooper has defense up, he also has 100% offense, 30% defense penetration. When defense up expires, Sith Empire Trooper gets tenacity increasing. This is really hard to see. I feel like we had another datacron not too long ago that had something like this. I don't quite know what 100% offense on Sith Empire Trooper looks like, and it's only when defense up happens. Doesn't sound very enticing. The counterattacks might be nice. Dark Talon, when she's under stealth, she reduces the cooldowns of her abilities by 1, which is nice. So hopefully she can stay under stealth as long as possible, and especially in a Darth Malgus lineup, it's going to be really hard to get your hands on her. This is going to be interesting. Sith Assassin. We haven't had a constant bonus turn thing in a while. Remember where Dash Rendar had constant bonus turns? TIE Fighter probably had constant bonus turns. That was a nutty period of data crowns. Like, holy cow. We got something similar to that, but it's conditioned on the fact that there needs to be stuns. So this might be great with Emperor Palpatine, or heck, even in just any type of lineup that has stuns. Technically, if Jedi Knight Luke stuns of the AoE, this will trigger Sith Assassin. Heck, if Han Solo stuns, she's taking a bonus turn. So this, I think, is going to find a lot of ways to get abused and be plugged into lineups that maybe have no business dealing with her. With all those bonus turns, it's going to be kind of nuts. Bastila Shan, not the Fallen. I gotta say, I'm a little sentimental. I miss the days of Bastila Shan Lee. That was a really fun era of Star Wars Galaxies when that was meta. This could bring it back. Let's see. Bastila Shan. At the start of the battle, Old Republic allies gain 15% turn meter and 200% protection up. Oh my gosh. Keep in mind, she doesn't even need the lead. Just her plainly existing is going to give 200% protection. So throw her in a Jedi Master Luke team, and protection up is based off your max health. And hello, we have max health. Max health stats. We have light side level 3, which gives 50% max health and max picks for each other ally. So that's, yeah, that's a lot right there. What is that? 75% max health and max protection. That's going to be huge. Indestructible Master Lukes and Old Republic tank allies taunt. for 1 turn. So, you know, helping Zalbar get a taunt out a bit earlier. While Old Republic allies have protection up, they have 150% tenacity and deal 35% more damage. This is basically the Battlejuice lead in unique ability format. And when you can throw down a Jedi Knight Revan, this is gonna, I mean, I don't fight Supreme Kylo Ren too often, but on like a free-to-play aspect, if you have Jedi Knight Revan, Supreme Kylo Ren should be easily dunked on. Master Luke is gonna be simply next level nuts. Holy cow. Wow. This is definitely the most interesting, I think, out of all of them aside from Maul and Savage. Canderous Ordo, if Canderous has an Old Republic ally in the leader slot, at the start of battle, whenever a damage over time effect expires on enemy, they regain damage over time, and Canderous Ordo recovers 10% health protection. You know, this could maybe go well with Carth and Nasi. I'm not too sure. We gotta wait and see when things go out in the wild. It doesn't seem too appealing, but nonetheless, he's gonna have a constant. It seems like he'll be able to survive for a long time. Zalbar gains 20% defense for each other Old Republic ally, and he's very durable. Here it is, a lot of defense to begin with. Whenever Old Republic allies use this special ability, Zalbar recovers 20% health and protection and inflicts a stack of damage over time for 2 turns on all enemies, which can't be evaded. So if you're going to try this out with Old Republic cards, you got some options. You got Canderous, Zalbar. I don't know if I'm really crazy about these two, but let's take a look at Carth, though. This one's a bit easier. At the start of the turn, dispel all debuffs on them, recover 5% health for each debuff dispelled this way. So again, it's more for him. It's unfortunate it's not for the whole entire team. It seems like it's just for Carth. If it was the whole entire team, it might be a little bit different. This is the one, I think if you are going to run the Carth team, this is the one I think you might want to have on mission. Whenever she uses a basic ability on their turn, other allies gain 25% turn. This is going to be the bigger deal. Keeping the turn flowing, and if she's assisting all the time, that's a lot of turn coming in. Marin, this is going to be fantastic. Whenever an ally is defeated or revived, Marin gains 20% offense, stacking to a max of 200% until the end of the encounter. And more importantly, I mean, the offense, you know, she doesn't really hit hard, but 200% offense, maybe she'll hit hard. Getting even more plagues on the enemy team, 2 extra stacks of plagues for 3 turns is nuts. And again, Nightsisters are one of the few that did get defeated and revived in the same turn. So there's going to be times she's going to be applying 4 stacks of plague in a single moment. Asajj, though, is also looking really good. Whenever Asajj gains, she's going to get 50 speed. Whenever she defeats an enemy, she dispels all deals of Nightsister allies, gains 20% offense. A lot of offense ramping. I guess, again, there's going to be a lot of stat increase, so we need some more ways to deal out the damage. And she refreshes the cooldowns of a random Nightsister ally. This is enticing. I'll be honest, though, Marin, although you get a lot more plague, do we really need more plague after what we've seen from the level 6, as well as what Marin already does? So maybe Asajj is the better way to go. But that's not all, folks. Whenever Nightsister Zombie lose the taunt, you get to remove 50% turn from all enemies. That's gonna be a big deal right there. Boy, Nightsisters, I think, have some of the best choices going on here. So many ways to make it even more nasty. 50% turn removal. Keep in mind, it could be resisted. It doesn't say unresistible turn removal, but still, nonetheless, that's looking really darn good. I'd take that over Marin. Over Asajj, hard to say. Mother Talzin inflicts a debuff. Whenever she inflicts a debuff, she recovers 20% health and protection, and not too crazy about that. Old Daka, whenever she stuns an enemy, she gets stacking critical damage up to 200% and stacking speed until the end of the encounter. Old Daka looks cool, but I think if I had to pick, I'd probably want that Nightsister zombie one. Asajj, man, I'm so biased with Marin. She's so good, but I gotta be honest, I don't think she needs more plagues. There's already so much with her whole unique ability that she's got going on. But let me know what you guys think. What is the Datacron? If you are interested, which one are you going for? Get your theory crafting hats on at the minimum. As I said, there's so many layers of Datacrons. I like that it mixes things up and it brings less viable characters into viability. The way they went about it, the RNG, the Datacron rolling, the fact you need to farm stuff, that's the problem. Man, I wish this stuff was just freebie giveaways in particular zones. So like in the top zone, Darth Maul gets those bonuses. Bottom zone, Nightsisters gets those bonuses. Really sucks they had the paywall, all this stuff. Really cool stuff, but I know the Datacron thing is going to be the part that takes away the excitement for some of you guys. Let me know down below what your favorite Datacron sets are, if that's even a good phrase to put together. And more importantly, let me know if you want that Datacron spreadsheet to be updated. I'm always here for you guys, just like you're here for me. Thank you so much for all the love and generosity put out there and the time around here. And always remember that it's great to be in the Empire today. It's great to be